Hey everyone, welcome to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome to Wrestling with Omer. We've got a wonderful show planned for you today. I'm going to go about half an hour or so on this stream. So if you haven't already, please do leave a like, leave a question in the chat as well. Video might be a little wonky because, as you can tell, I am not in the studio. I am, in fact, in Newark for AEW Full Gear. I'm going to be there live. I'm going to be reacting. I'm going to be cheering. My voice is likely going to be absolutely shredded by the time we do our review stream later on tonight, which I will definitely have to be a little more quiet than I'm being right now. But guys, put your questions in the chat. We're going to be talking about some last-minute updates on AEW Full Gear. Also going to be talking about some updates on the AEW video game that now is not going to involve one Chick Magnet, formerly known as Chick Magnet, CM Punk. So, a lot to talk about here, but put your questions in the chat. We're going to get to them as we go along, because there is, in fact, a lot to talk about. First off, I did want to talk very quickly about a few matches that were added to this pay-per-view card that I did not get to cover in my preview video that I did just the other day. So, going to go through those very quickly right now. We got Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, Rocky Romero, and Danhausen taking on The Factory, QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, Lee Johnson, Nick Camarado, and Cole Carter, who, for me, I thought Cole Carter was aligned with Jeff Jarrett and co., but that does not seem to be the case anymore, or at least right now for Cole Carter. Right now, it looks like Cole Carter is still with The Factory, which kind of confuses me, honestly, because I thought he was doing his thing with Jeff Jarrett. I was at the Baltimore show where they had that big angle where Jarrett made his debut. Guess that wasn't the case. Guess that's not happening. Whatever. Doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's just filler. Like, this is the match where I'm gonna be in line to get t-shirts and that foam finger. So, I mean, like, it's not gonna matter to me personally. That being said, sure, I'll probably be at the end when Danhausen picks up the victory over QT Marshall, because that's gonna be hilarious when that happens. But guys, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to leave a 5-star review. And again, the audio quality is gonna be different because I don't have my regular mic, but we got the Rode. I got the not the Rode as in the brand, but I have the Rode mic, the traveling mic, which isn't as great. See, that was probably really loud, and I apologize for everyone out there. But we got a bunch to talk about. So tonight is the night. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you've probably already seen this. So maybe fast forward about 10 or so minutes, and you'll get to the other stuff we're talking about. But tonight's the night where Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, finally, by God, finally gets crowned the AEW World Champion. And we've talked about this being the result at this pay-per-view. We've talked about why this needs to be the result. We've talked about maybe some different ways of this going down. But what we need to talk about is how we got here. Because MJF's road to this moment, has been a long one. And honestly, the story that they've told with MJF over the past just few years in his time in AEW, it's not one of a villain. And I really think we need to get that cleared up. MJF is not the typical wrestling villain where he's just bad for being bad. There's a reason for his badness, for lack of a better term. There's a reason that MJF is so despicable, so angry. And that reason is trauma. MJF was bullied. MJF's heroes all shirked him. MJF had to work hard for where he's at. And is there a little bit of him showing off? Absolutely. Is there a little bit of him being cocky and having a chip on his shoulder? Absolutely. But the best part about this entire MJF story has been that it's something that we did not expect. Because MJF, just without the backstory of him, being bullied, that he mentioned that in his promo with CM Punk. His backstory with William Regal, in one of the best promos I've ever seen him do, which is saying something. It's absolutely spectacular what they've done with this story, and there's a lot of nuggets of truth in there too. So I just think from an unexpected story standpoint, like we all knew from day one of AEW that the Hangman Adam Page story was going to lead eventually to Hangman Adam Page winning. And we knew that, and we also knew that the MJF was going to end up with this world title. But I didn't think that it would feel the way it's going to feel. Again, it hasn't happened yet. There's like a 1% chance they could all be a swerve. Moxley could retain. There could be a double turn. There's a lot that could happen tonight. But the most likely scenario is that your hottest guy wins the biggest belt in the company on a big pay-per-view stage in front of 10,000 plus, basically near where he grew up. That's where this story, not even where the story should end, but that's where this story begins. Because now you have a chance. The bidding war of 2024 is something that Maxwell Jacob Friedman has talked about ad nauseum. He has not stopped telling us how he's looking forward to the bidding war of 2024. And there is so much they could do with MJF as world champion for over a year. Like, have him hold the belt until winter is coming next year. Have that be the big thing. Whether it's Hangman, whether it's Wardlow, no matter who it is. Build it up as this guy, MJF, is leaving the company. And he's taking the belt. That's the story. And then, at the last second, have someone save the belt. Whether or not MJF's leaving, that should be the story that we're told. MJF could very well have already signed a new deal. And we don't even know it right now. But I love the fact that we don't know it, because it leaves this story open. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be very honest with you. Always repping the Blackpool Combat Club. But I'm going to be cheering for both Mox and MJF because they're two amazing wrestlers. We got Daniel in the chat. Welcome, Daniel, saying, this is Maxwell's time to shine, to win the big gold. It is crazy. It's crazy how, like, I have heard people refer to the AEW World Championship as the big gold now. Like, it's kind of a new thing that I'm starting to hear. I mean, there's always going to be just one big gold belt. Like, we all know what the big gold belt is. It's Ric Flair's belt. For some people who grew up around the time I watched, you might refer to it as Triple H's big gold belt, the WCW World Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, whatever you call it. That was, I think as far as like world championship designs, it doesn't really get more prestigious than that. But the AEW title is a beautiful, beautiful big gold belt as well. So guys, hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when it's in the chat. As we always do on Wrestling with Omer, we're gonna have our AEW Full Gear live review immediately after the pay-per-view, or roughly immediately after the pay-per-view. It depends how much time it takes me to get from the Prudential Center back here to my hotel. So, which hopefully it's not that long. I think it's going to be like a 10-minute walk max, so leave some time there. But as soon as I'm back and ready to go, we're gonna do this thing. So again, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you got notified whenever that happens. Anyway, so there's that, and then there was the other news that kind of that kind of got to me. This was the CM Punk update. So we do have an update on CM Punk. And it's not the update that I think many AEW fans have been looking for or are looking forward to. I think we are seeing not seeing the end. I mean, the end was all out when he went off on that tirade. But I think we've kind of seen like the big hint that he's gone. That he is really gone. Now, I'll get into why I think that is, but all right, and I think we're back. So that's hotel Wi-Fi for you. Never try to multitask on hotel Wi-Fi when you're streaming. So lesson learned there. Anyway, so the AEW Fight Forever video game is coming out very soon. It's out, I think, on pre-sale as well, but looks like we have a big change and likely a big update on CM Punk and what his future with the company is or isn't going to be. As you can tell, the first image right there on your left is the original Fight Forever cover, and on the right is the new, I don't know if it's the actual cover, but it's the new cover art that they're going with in their promotion of the video game that came out with a trailer for the video game that came out recently. One features CM Punk front and center. The other one doesn't feature him at all. I think this is a clear message that that's being sent, not necessarily in spite of Punk. Like, I think it's just a message of, hey, he's no longer with the company, and we're going to put our biggest stars on that cover. And right now, some of our biggest stars are Bryan Danielson, Britt Baker, DMD, Kenny Omega, and MJF right up front and center. And I think that's honestly like the end of it. It's not like a big conspiracy. People want to say that, oh, well,
they're trying to bury CM Punk by taking him off the cover of the video game.
No, it very well could be that they want to feature stars that are going to be there moving forward on the cover of the video game. And if that's your goal, you want to build up your stars, you want to use your stars to help build up the company and sell a good video game, this is what you do. I'm just saying, it is what you do. Like, people are going to be mad. I think it's more interesting than anything, because this speaks louder than anything that we've heard from Tony Khan, which is virtually nothing. He did make a comment on an interview with, I believe it was Inside the Ropes, where he said about the CM Punk situation that he just wishes the best for everyone involved. He did not go beyond that, but that seems to me to be him kind of saying, like, I can't talk about it, but it does, we're not going to be in business together, and we just wish him the best. I think that's the message that's been sent here. Whether or not y'all agree with that message, whether or not I think anyone really agrees with that message, doesn't really matter. What matters at the end of the day is, I think Tony Khan wants to move on, because ever since All Out, it's almost been this weird cloud. There has been, I should say, this weird cloud over AEW TV. There just has been. And I think, for me at least, on Wednesday night was like the first time it felt like they had kind of gotten that weird cloud of CM Punk. And this controversy as a whole, I'm not just going to put this on CM Punk, but it felt like they were building up to their pay-per-view, and they were all like gung-ho, guns a-blazing, let's go back to work type of vibe. Like, it really felt like that. Wardlow is back to feeling like he did before. Then you got Kenny Omega and the Elite making a return, and I think that played a big part of it. Like, Kenny Omega and the Elite are the biggest stars in this company right now. Like, MJF has a chance to be the biggest star one day, but right now, at this moment, the biggest stars are the Elite. They're why you founded the company. They're who you founded the company on. Whether fans like it or hate it, that's how it is. So I do think that their involvement or their return played a large part in at least me having that line of thinking that this feels like kind of like back to work type of mode. And we're going to have to see how it plays out. Like, we're genuinely going to have to see how the rest of this plays out. Punk, by the way, and I'm going to try to see if I can actually play the audio of this, because can't play the video of it, otherwise I'll get righted on the copy. As I pull it up, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. So, okay, so here we go. This is from, oh great, we're losing vibes, aren't we? We're losing vibes. Hopefully we don't lose many more. We got Darth in the chat saying, hope MJF wins. I think MJF will win. By the way, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and put your questions in the chat. We got another 15 or so minutes on this live stream, so put your questions in the chat. We'll get to them. We'll have fun. Again, I am in Newark. That is why the audio is crap. That is why the visuals are crap, or more crap than usual. But we will be back here live tonight for a review. So be sure to subscribe to get notified whenever that is. Leave your questions in the chat as well. But back to CM Punk very quickly. So this was interesting. So CM Punk did a Cage Fury show for UFC, or on UFC Fight Pass, and they actually referred to him again. This is nuggets of information, but they actually made reference to him and wrestling. So I just want to play that clip real quick, or the audio of it.
I hear wasn't injured. Him versus Paul Felder might have happened, but apparently he's nursing a shoulder injury. You know, maybe Mario Lopez or somebody like that in the future.
I'm nursing everything.
Speaking of CM Punk, next year we may do Fury Pro Wrestling. we're trying to get a big signing to happen. We need to add it to our
I'm bad news. You don't want me in the
that dude will mess up the whole organization. What are you doing? I like working here, man. He won't draw numbers. Don't let him do any press conferences, all right, listen, we still got a main event to come.
Don't let him do any press conferences. Y'all heard that. I hope y'all heard that. Let me see. Let me make sure y'all heard that. But yeah, that was just, look, they made fun of it. CM Punk basically said, hey, you don't want me there. Or you don't want me there on your new wrestling federation. I'm bad news. I'm bad for the locker room. And then one of his co-hosts basically said, yeah, no, don't let him do any press conferences. So, I think, obviously it's fun and they're making fun of it. But I just, Tony Khan's not talking about it. CM Punk is talking about it. I just feel like they're not on the same page there. And I think that they might have just, drifted apart. And that happens in business. That happens in life. It is what it is. We got Darth in the chat saying, glad the Elite are coming back. I'd rather have been them in AEW over Punk any day. To me, Punk is washed up. No. if I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Whatever we think of CM Punk as a person or CM Punk in the locker room, at the end of the day, I should say, I'm not in that locker room, so I'm not gonna speak for their locker room as to what he was or what he wasn't. I'm just gonna tell you what I hear from reports, right? But one thing I can say is that CM Punk, even at 43, 44 years old, haggard, tired, injured, is still a great wrestler. And in Chicago, at All Out, I was there live. The dude got a massive reaction. And he knows how to work a crowd, and he knows how to work a great match, even injured. And you can't take that away from him, right? We can say that he's reportedly bad for the locker room. We can say that he acted like a child, which I've said he was very childish in the way he approached the Hangman Adam Page thing. He was, in my opinion, unprofessional and fired the first shot in the whole Elite versus Punk type of feud or whatever it was. That's on him. And whether or not he wants to admit it, I don't care personally because I don't know Phil Brooks. That's his thing. I can only speak to what I see as a fan and as someone who analyzes this stuff, right? But from a pure in-ring standpoint, from a promo standpoint, the dude is I wouldn't describe him as washed. You could say he's washed as a person. I think that there would be a lot of people who would agree with you there. But I just think he as a wrestler, he's still good, man. We got Darth in the chat saying, I wasn't that impressed watching him wrestle. He seemed always slow. He's a great man. He's a great name, though. Dude draws numbers. I'll give him that. He does. And, that's another thing. I think, wrestling's one of those things that's subjective, right? Which I can say that, for me, CM Punk is a good wrestler. And then anyone can disagree, and you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong. Unless you're saying, something wild, Road Dogg's a good wrestler, which he wasn't, or something like that, or whatever, right? But people can disagree about CM Punk being a good wrestler or not, or you're not if you're not entertained by him. That's a 100% valid critique and valid thing to say, right? But at the end of the day, he did draw. First $1 million gate. He talked about how Hangman Page was gonna ruin it, which is untrue, but first $1 million gate in the company's history, that was on him. And he did help get eyeballs on AEW's product. That is true. And he helped build it. It's to quote Cody Rhodes, ungoddamn deniable. Darth in the chat says, wouldn't it be dope to see Punk come back with a feud with Kenny Omega? That would be crazy. Here's the thing. The one thing that wrestling over the past 2 years has taught me, it is to never say never. CM Punk returned to wrestling in a non-WWE ring. Faded out in a year, but he still returned. We saw Cody Rhodes jump ship to WWE. We saw him have a great match with the Torn Pec. We saw the two biggest stories of the entire year as far as news, like the two biggest news stories, and as far as legacy or impact on legacy and impact on the business, or Vince McMahon retiring, not dying in the chair like he always said he would, retiring, and Stone Cold Steve Austin main eventing WrestleMania. Those things happened in 2022. So I think, like, when people say, oh, CM Punk's never coming back, and they genuinely mean never, I'm not closing the book on that. Until CM Punk is like, hell, he could be 50 and still want to wrestle. Like, until CM Punk is like 80 and you know, like, basically he's like Ric Flair and unable to really wrestle a match, I'd never put it past anyone to step back in the ring. Sting is like 65 almost, and he's out there like wrestling and doing like cross bodies off of the entrance. So you can never say never in professional wrestling. Never say never. Guys, keep those questions coming. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right. So switching gears, I made a pun there. Switching gears real quick back to Full Gear. The other big thing, or the other piece of news that came out this week was not a rebrand of Ring of Honor, but kind of like a reset. I guess not a reset, but like a little bit of a tweak to the way AEW is now presenting Ring of Honor. For a while, AEW was kind of promoting Ring of Honor. They were obviously promoting them on the wrestling show, but they were kind of promoting it as a separate thing. For now, the promotion and all of the promotional material, all of the ads, all that kind of stuff, they all say AEW presents ROH Final Battle. That's for the big Final Battle show they're having in December in Texas. So with that, it looks like AEW is kind of switching the way they're promoting Ring of Honor in general, and it's gonna be more of a like WWE NXT. You know how NXT like was always branded as WWE NXT. I think that's what it's going to be branded as moving forward. AEW ROH type of thing, maybe with a less of an emphasis than WWE puts on it. But regardless, I think it's a smart thing to do, because if you genuinely want to make this your minor league or your own alternative, whatever Tony Khan has in mind, I think that's a good way to help prop up the ROH brand and also help build a bridge between the two brands, as this is our like alternative, or this is our minor league, this is our developmental system, whatever it is going to be. There's reports that ROH does have some sort of distribution deal. I don't know what exactly that would be. There's rumor that we could find out as soon as Final Battle. There's other people who say that we're gonna have to wait until winter is coming, or maybe later on into 2023 until we find out what exactly that is. I think ROH Final Battle would be the best time to break that news. And maybe honestly, the week leading up to Final Battle to try to get a little bit more buzz around it. But we'll see. We got Darth in the chat saying UVA Virginia strong. Yeah, UVA strong. I mean, it is. I went to UV, so I did not attend UVA, but I've been to UVA a few times. Recently, I very recently went there as well. And the campus is beautiful, and the community is beautiful, and it is just, it's tragic to see that kind of stuff happen to, literally, like, people younger than me, like kids. It's terrible, and no parent should have to go through that. No family should have to go through that. No community should have to go through that. And it is. And I feel like we've said that about like gun violence in general. I don't like to get too preachy on my streams here, but it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Darth says, I live about 20 minutes from there. Such a sad thing. A very sad thing. My heart goes out to Charlottesville, the community, and the families. Like it's beyond, like, you know, thoughts and prayers and all that type of mumbo jumbo that people like to say. It's beyond that. Like, you just gotta there's got to be better. There's got to be a better process for all of this. I think we can all agree on that. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell. We got a few minutes left. Again, I am in Newark. We are going to have our AEW Full Gear review show following the pay-per-view. I say immediately following, but it's going to take me maybe like 10 or so minutes to run down from the venue back to my hotel room. But we will be live tonight, sometime after midnight, because these pay-per-views usually go pretty long. But we will be doing that, so subscribe if you haven't already. Got a few minutes left in the stream, and then I have to go figure out what the hell I'm eating tonight, or before the show, because I have not done that. So if you guys know any good places in Newark, let me know. All right. Anyway, so last few nuggets here. Again, I think MJF has to win tonight. In my prediction video, which you guys can go watch back in the archives just from yesterday, in my prediction video, I said that they're gonna do a thing where I think like MJF is going to win, and he's going to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring, but I think he will already have had Moxley beat at that point, and he's going to look at William Regal, and kind of call back to when William Regal says, "I didn't hit people with these brass knucks because I needed to. I did because I wanted to." And I think like they can tell the story there where Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF didn't need the Dynamite Diamond Ring to win this match. He just wanted to use it. And that would be a cool callback to that. I think the whole thing with Stokely Hathaway and the firm. Okay. I think we're back. I don't think there has been enough story for William Regal to eventually turn heel. If it happens, great. Well, if it happens, it'll be crazy, and I'll get absolutely, like, I'll go berserk. But I don't really foresee that happening. I just don't see that happening tonight. But y'all let me know if you guys think that's going to happen. I see Darth in the chat says, do you think William Regal flips and becomes I just don't think that that's the story they're telling. I do think that MJF is better off without a manager, because what does he need a manager for? Honestly, what does MJF need a manager for? He's the best talker in the entire business. He's been taking care of himself the past few months. I think having the firm be like his heaters, like part-time heaters or whatever they are, I think that's a good thing. And it fits the character. It fits the character of MJF. I just don't think that, while it would be interesting, William Regal paired with MJF, I just don't think he needs it. And I think William Regal, like the Blackpool Combat Club as a whole, there's way more to be done there. And I think there is a Blackpool Combat Club versus the firm type of story they can tell. Maybe that leads to another blood and guts match. But I just do not see like the need for it. I think William Regal is much more needed in the Blackpool Combat Club than he would be MJF or than he would be in the firm. That's just me. That's just what I believe. But it's going to be interesting. Either way, the result tonight better be MJF winning that title, because that's the only reason I came to freaking Newark. Don't hurt me, people from Newark. We love it. It's a great town. Y'all have great running water. That's about all I've experienced since I've been here. Still need to experience the food. So, again, got to go venture out for that in a little bit. But I will take some last few questions if you guys got them. Any questions about the pay-per-view, any questions about anything else that's going on in wrestling. It doesn't have to be related to what we're talking about. It can just be anything you guys want to talk about. That's the whole point of the Wrestling with Omer show. It is me wrestling with your questions. So put them in the chat. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. As I am looking through some of these updates. What else is going on in the wacky world of professional wrestling? Oh, well, yeah, you had Eddie Kingston. You had Eddie Kingston versus Akiyama added to the card. I like the story that they're telling with Eddie Kingston, though. And Akiyama, he's like, I saw Akiyama wrestle. And then I knew from that day forward, I wanted to fight him. And Eddie Kingston's like, I want to fight everyone. Like, it's crazy. I love it. I think Kingston gets the victory here. And it's been weird because, so Kingston has been wrestling on Dark a lot lately. And what he's been doing after his matches is interesting because he's been kind of teasing a heel turn. And he's been kind of teasing this unstable, quote unquote, gimmick. And it's interesting. We got Darth in the chat saying, "Do you have a Discord by any chance?" Not yet. Soon. It's in the works. We will have a Discord soon. So to stay updated on that, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll have news on that soon. I'm trying to start Discord soon to build this community out a little more than we already have. So definitely coming soon. Yeah, but Eddie Kingston, I think in that match, Akiyama versus Kingston, I think Kingston gets the victory, and we're gonna see that thing where Kingston kind of after the match he starts attacking his opponent, and then like Ortiz has to stop him, be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then Kingston just goes crazy after the match. It's crazy. Soraya's returning tonight. She's having her first match in years, in literally years. It's crazy. See, never say never in wrestling, right? Am I right? Am I right? Y'all let me know in the chat. I think that just about wraps it up. I'll give it another minute or two for any last minute questions that do come up, and I'll take your questions and we'll go through it. But I do want to thank everyone for who's joined live, and if you're watching this on the playback, thank you, and hope you guys check out the venue back to here, and we're gonna get that live review highlight show up and running. And okay, cool. We didn't drop too many frames. Hotel Wi-Fi, life's a business, isn't it? But I really appreciate you guys. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tune into our live our live review stream immediately following the pay-per-view. Tune in to our stuff on Tuesday nights. Tune into our other stuff. We're going to be doing a live reaction for Survivor Series this week. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun videos. We got shorts now too. So check that out. Until next time though, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.